watch
How?
this?
How?
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 Ew,
How do you watch this?
Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Hi, you're listening to How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Megan and I love romance.
My name is Demi and I love horror.
And this week I had Demi watch the movie Clueless, which is a cult classic, very, very popular 90s movie. I was actually surprised. For some reason, I didn't realize it was a 95 movie. So it is like...
Yeah, it felt like it was like an early 2000s and I was like, oh, 95. That's...
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. I felt the same way. And I didn't watch this until I was older, like mid-teens. Not like 30s, but I was, 13, 14, 15 years old when I saw it for the first time ever.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting watching it for the
Yes.
first time now. And I definitely have a lot of thoughts about the movie.
I know you do. I was like, there was so much where I was like, she's not gonna like that. She's not gonna like that at all.
Yeah. I think you know. Okay, so for the thread,
Yeah.
is it that they're both book adaptations?
No.
Oh my God, okay.
No, that would be good though. But you know me.
Yeah.
I always pick something very, very niche and stupid.
I was like trying to think and I'm like, there's no priest anywhere.
No. How? I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
It's how someone dies.
Does someone fall down the steps?
Yes. So stupid.
That's really good. No, that's really good.
In Clueless, Ty falls down the stairs at that party. Yeah.
Like brutally too.
Yeah, like really bad.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's all right. That was good.
Thanks.
Okay, so I didn't realize this was a book like a loose adaptation of Emma
Yeah.
until I'll tell you when and during the movie. But like
Okay.
the whole time I'm like, why does this feel familiar? I'm like, this reminds me of something. I don't
Yeah.
know what. And then this one scene happened. I was like, oh my God, it's Emma.
Yeah.
And I was like, it has to be that. It has to be that. But
Yes,
because it was a
good.
loose adaptation, I was like, I don't know.
Oh,
But anyway,
really? So
picking
it's
the
like,
thread, yeah.
oh, the thread. I
Yeah.
thought you were like, you liked it less knowing it was a book adaptation.
No. But yeah, I was like, oh my God. I feel like an idiot. I was like, what? I was like, what? This seems so familiar.
No, I know. I did the same thing though, dude, because I literally completely forgot that it was loosely adapted from Emma.
Okay. Yeah.
Until I was doing my notes and I was like doing research and I was like, oh man, how did I forget that? How did it not click in my brain? I'm
I
so
know.
involved. See, this is the thing. I feel like it's just, when it comes to romance, I'm just like, I buy it. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I'm like in it. I'm not making connections. When it's horror, I'm like, I have to figure this
Right.
out. I have to do.
I have to find something to latch on to.
Right, exactly. So when it comes to romance, it's like, la la la, living my best life.
So Clueless is 1995,
Mhm.
PG-13, hour 37 minutes. It is, I listed a comedy. It's a comedy, teen comedy.
Yeah.
The director is Amy Heckerling.
Mhm.
And those are all my details. My notes kind of suck. I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was like doing. So I'm just going to
All
go.
right, let's go with it.
It's going to be fine. The movie opens up and we see a bunch of rich teenagers doing rich teenager stuff. They're just hanging out, laughing. And we meet our main character, Cher Howowitz, and she's played by Alicia Silverstone. Jesus Christ.
It's okay.
And this movie is all like narrated by her. And she's just like your typical popular wealthy girl living in Beverly Hills. She is just talking about her lifestyle and she's just really, it revolves around expensive clothing and social hierarchy, all that typical stuff. She has this software on her computer. I almost made this my most memorable because I was like obsessed with it.
Yeah.
She has this software on her computer and it's like, it helps her put together an outfit.
Yeah.
So it's just like an avatar of her and it
Yeah.
scrolls through her tops and bottoms and it'll let her know, no, this doesn't match or this
Right.
matches. And I'm like,
Dude,
wait, where is this? Why don't I
know.
have this?
Travis was watching this. He's like, God, I love these old movies where they invent software that's not
Dude,
real. And
I
you're
love
like,
it.
"What?" And
And
she
it's always the
never,
best stuff. It's always the
Yes,
best stuff.
it's the best. And also, she never uses the software again for the rest of the movie. It's just for
No.
the intro scene.
Just for the intro, just so you could see how cool she is.
Yes.
And I loved it. It was so funny.
Oh my God. And honestly would have loved that. It reminded me of those old Barbie games and stuff. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
The dress-up games.
Yes. I was like, give me.
It was so good. So then we meet her best friend Dion,
Uh-huh.
or Dee, played by Stacey Dash, and they're very similar. They're both rich girls, very popular, very beautiful, very fashion forward. I
Oh
love
my
their
God.
outfits.
Dude, I was like, give me all of the clothes. First of all,
I know.
Cher has 63 outfit changes
My
throughout the movie,
God.
and apparently the actress got to keep most of them,
Ooh.
including the like iconic yellow plaid outfit, which was like couture. It was,
oh my goodness.
like, it was very expensive, but they wanted this iconic outfit.
Yeah.
They actually didn't have a very high budget. I'm already getting into fun facts. They didn't have a very high budget. They had, I think, $200,000 for costumes. So a lot of it, they went thrift stores or made outfits and stuff. But her looks are so amazing.
So good. So good. I was obsessed with
loved
her.
it.
Her
Yes.
and Dion are like, oh my God, they're so
yes.
stunning.
So great.
Yeah, so they are very similar. Dion is dating this high school boy named Murray, who's played by Donald Faison, whom you might recognize from Scrubs. And Cher, on the other hand, thinks it's pointless to date high school boys. Which, fair.
Yeah.
She calls them like
honestly,
all animals. Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Not wrong.
Kind of the worst era for the male gender is the high school years.
Yep. Agreed. So then we meet her teacher, Mr. Hall, played by Wallace Shawn, and Cher gets a grade back, and it's a C for their her debate class, which starts this chain of events, essentially. And Cher swears that it's because Mr. Hall needs to get boned, like needs to fuck. He's just unhappy and he needs that happiness in his life. So they decide that they're going to match him with another teacher. So because before this, Cher could just talk her way into getting better grades. She's just really, she just knows how to work people and talk to people. So she was able to get higher grade with her gym class and like other classes pretty easily. But Mr. Hall is very strict. So after considering a few candidates, they decide to go with the teacher, Miss Geist.
I don't remember how to say her name, so yeah.
And she seems like just this sweet, like older woman, and she's cute. She has like these like thick glasses and her hairstyle's a little wild, and they're like, she could work. This is it. They could work with this. So over the next few days, they write like a fake love letter to her saying it's from a secret admirer, and they're just trying to make this work, and it ends up working out. They give Mr. Hall this cup of coffee and say, oh, you should share this with her, and he does.
Which, if like two 16-year-olds gave me a thermos of coffee and were like, go share this with this specific man, I'd be like, thanks,
would not
and pour it
trust
in the garbage.
Would not trust, but it works out. And so they're in a relationship, and Cher ends up getting a higher grade, which impresses her father. And her father, by the way, is widowed, a successful lawyer. Her mother died when she was born as a baby.
From a, do you remember what from? A failed liposuction.
That's right. So absolute queen.
Yeah.
So it's just her and her dad is just a very busy lawyer, but
And also, with the dad's and her relationship, part of me loved it, and part of me was like, this is where all entitled white girls come from, is men who cater to them. But also, I love how the dad, everything she does, he's like, amazing. Amazing. Incredible.
You're the best. You're so smart. You're so beautiful. You're the most beautiful girl in Beverly Hills. So I love that support, but she also gets whatever she wants. And so it does make her a little superficial. But he does want her to have goals and motivation. So
Mhm.
he is a little hard on her for that, which is good. So then we meet Josh, and Josh is played by Paul Rudd, and he is in college, and he is
Yeah.
Cher's ex-stepbrother.
Yep. Travis goes, "Is this about to turn into a porn?" I was like, Travis, no.
And I was like, I didn't hear that right. I
Yeah.
didn't hear that right. No. So they were step siblings. His mother was married to
Yes.
Mel, Cher's father. They divorced, blah, blah, blah. And so he still comes around to hang out because he's just avoiding his mom and the new stepfather. But he also is like interested in doing something similar with Mel and like being a lawyer and all that. So he does hang around for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't the love interest, right? Like,
Dude,
you guys.
I know it is very taboo, and like I know they're not actually related anymore, but the fact that they at one point in time, even if it was for a few months, feels icky. And then apparently a lot of studios turned this production down because they didn't like the fact that the love interest was the stepbrother. What?
But why would they like keep that? You could have just not done that.
Right. And so that was almost like the last straw where she's like, I'm not working with Fox now. And there's like an interview where the director is talking about how silly it is that they don't like the fact that he was the stepbrother. She's like, they're not related. Like, she's like, it's not even close. Like, they just, it's just like, I'm like, dude, of all the things, it should not have been a stepbrother. It should have been like the old neighbor.
Eddie, like the real Emma, he wasn't her stepbrother. He was someone that like just knew the family and was like a close family friend. And that
didn't need to be weird.
And what made it worse is that there's a scene where Cher invites him to like come out, hang out, and he's like, "Oh, you don't want someone like a brotherly companion or something like that." And she's like, "You're not my brother," and I'm like,
I know. I feel like they're trying too hard.
It just reminded me, you remember, what was that show called? It was like this old Disney show, and it was like Life with Derek. I think it was called Life with Derek.
Yes.
You ever heard of that?
I remember it really, really like foggy though.
Yeah. So they're step siblings, and they're just like always clashing. But the actors in real life started dating. So there was like really gross tension on set, and they had to stop.
No.
And literally one scene, she says something like, "Oh, you're like my brother," and he's like half brother, and she's just like, same difference, and I'm like,
no.
So I literally thought of that with this movie, and I was like, God, I'm like, maybe they don't get together. Maybe they don't.
This is genuinely, I cannot defend it at all. I think it's weird. I think the minute you have familial connections, it just makes it.
Especially with him like hanging at the house a lot too. It just and their relationship feels sibling like. I understand what they're trying to going for. They tease each other a lot. They're very opposite. Josh is very like has a different lifestyle, very into like politics and law and environmentalism, and Cher is not that at all. So they're always just like teasing each other about their different lifestyles. But you can tell they're friendly and like each other. But it does give that little bit of feels a little but it also gives like they've known each other for a while and they just bicker like that.
I also will say another thing is like at one point in the movie they're talking to another girl who hasn't been brought up yet, and we basically get the idea that they're all 15 about to turn 16.
Yeah, and Josh is in college.
Yeah, so he's a freshman, so he's at least 18.
Yeah.
Minimum, unless he's a young college student. But
yeah, it's possible. But yeah, that too. I was like,
I didn't like that either.
I
was just like, in my mind, I rewrote it. I was like, she's a senior and he's a freshman, and they both just happen. Their ages are
fine.
Real close.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I forgot she was like 15, 16 because they don't look it, obviously.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing on. That's Josh.
Yeah.
So then we meet new girl, Tay Frazier, who's played by Brittany Murphy, R.I.P.
Yeah.
And Tay is like the new girl who is being transferred in. She's like grungy. Her style is very just like grungy and is a little socially awkward, and immediately shares like, we have to adopt her. We have to befriend her and make her
she's
cool.
feeling like high off of the
Yes.
adrenaline of getting together the two teachers. She's thinking of all the other do-gooding she can do.
Yeah, exactly. So they befriend her and they give her a makeover to try and improve her social standing.
Yeah.
And so while this is happening, Ty ends up meeting Travis, who's played by Brecken Meyer. Like, a lot of names here.
Yeah.
And I was like, where? I know this face. And like, he wasn't in much stuff. And I'm like, I know that face. And I couldn't think of where I really knew him from. But.
And you still didn't? Hold on. Because I'm like, I know his face. Hold on. I have to look. Hold on.
He did a lot of like comedy stuff. I feel like I'm confusing his face with another actor. Who's like younger? Brecken Meyer. I feel like I'm confusing his face with someone else that looks similar.
Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, which I've seen, but that doesn't feel like what I know him from. Garfield.
Hey.
Could be Garfield.
The cartoon or live action?
Live action.
Okay.
And Herbie Fully Loaded.
Okay, not that.
I feel like I must know him from Kate and Leopold. Kate and Leopold, which we covered. He's the brother.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it was that.
Yeah. He's in a lot of romances, which makes sense why I very much am familiar with him. But yeah, those are the big ones.
Well, Travis is this like stoner skateboarding guy, your typical stereotype in the 90s. But he's really nice, and him and Tay like click really well. He talks about Martian Marvin on his skateboard, and she's like, oh my god, I draw them a lot. And it was just like a weird coincidence.
Right.
And she goes back to the table with Cher and Dee, and she's like, I just met someone, and tells him about Travis, and Cher immediately like, no, we don't date. We don't communicate with stoner guys.
Right, yeah.
They hang out on the lawn and they stay there. So immediately she's diverting Tay from that and trying to move her more to a more popular guy named Elton. And he is similar stature, popular, rich, handsome, and newly single. And he's played by Jeremy Sisto, another face. I think he's from The Heathers. Cher is working extra hard on Tay. They have after-school workout sessions, guiding her on new wardrobe, expanding her trendy vocabulary, all this shit. Josh disapproves of this little pet project and saying that she's attempting to ruin this like innocent girl and turning into a brat. Yeah. But Cher swears that it's an act of kindness. Yeah. So I can't believe like until now I still didn't know it was an Emma adaptation. But I was like, I know this story.
I know.
So Cher manages to get Tay and Elton to notice each other. Cher is taking photos of the group and is taking solo shots of Tay, and Elton's like, oh, give me a copy of that. And she was like, okay, yeah, I got you. And so they're both excited, and then at a party they go to pretty much introduce the new Tay, they meet with Elton, and Cher is really trying to get her to go with him, but you notice that Elton is looking at Cher a lot. Like, it doesn't seem like he's interested in Tay. He's looking at Cher. And at one point, Tay gets hit by a shoe. It gets like knocked out, and Elton carries her into the kitchen and helps her out. So Cher pushes Elton and Tay to go dance together, and she's really excited at the potential. And meanwhile, Travis is trying to talk to Tay again, and Cher's just trying to kind of redirect him. And poor Travis, he's so cute. It's the end of the night. They have to leave because Cher's father's like, where are you at? You need to be home in 20 minutes. Yeah. And so they're all heading out. Elton's like, oh, I can drive Cher home because another person said that they were going to drive and we're headed a certain direction. And Tay's like, oh, I'm in that direction. And Cher's really trying to get so that Tay and Elton go together. Yeah. And it's just not working because Elton's like, no, it doesn't make sense. I'm driving you home. But it's because Elton is trying to make a pass at Cher. So they stop at this like parking lot, and he goes to kiss her. He's like, I know you're interested in me. She's like, ew, I'm not interested in you. What about Tay? He's like, what about Tay? Like, I don't really care about Tay. And so she leaves the car, he drives off, and then this is my most memorable scene because it was really funny. She immediately gets mugged. This guy walks up to her, he's like, give me your purse. And she's like, wait. He's like, get on the floor. She's like, no, this dress is expensive. He's like, get on the floor. And then he's like, okay, bye. And just runs with her purse and everything.
Yes.
So
that is based on a story that the director heard when she was at a party. This man was like, his wife had basically been getting him to dress in like really nice outfits, like designer outfits, and he was mugged at gunpoint, and he's like, this is Armani. I cannot get on the ground. This is Armani. And the dude's like, get on the ground.
That's so funny.
I know.
Oh my god. I feel that though. It's like, listen, this is
like,
expensive.
Come on.
Please.
I'll do whatever you want, just not that.
I'll close my eyes, I swear. Oh my god. You know, if it was in Philly, they probably would have been like, all right, I get you. I get you. Brotherly love in some points. Okay. So the only person she can call is Josh at this point. So she calls Josh and he's like, you owe me, but I'll come get you. He comes to get her. And on the way home, she suggests they pick up food for her dad and his colleagues who are working on a really difficult case. And Josh at this point is like, oh, that's like really nice. Let's do that. Yeah. So seeing that Cher is not completely superficial can have a heart. So then we meet a new student, another transfer student. Yep. His name's Christian, and he is dressed like 1950s, 1940s style, very suave.
Like it's very like grandpa chic, but like it works. You know, when someone wears it takes a certain type of man to be able to pull off high-waisted pants, but when they do, they work it. It works.
Yeah. So Cher's immediately like, ooh, I might consider breaking my never date a high school boy rule for this guy. And she has all her tricks. So dropping the pen, giving herself flowers and chocolates so we can seem like other people are interested.
God,
showing skin.
Dude.
Iconic.
So great.
So good. So they become friends and plan to go to this party, and they bring Tay along. It's just the scene where Tay falls out the steps.
Yes.
Poor thing. Falls out hard as shit down the steps.
Dude, so I will say, basically the way I realized that there was that connection was that on IMDb it has that amazing feature where it says keywords, and one of the keywords is falling down the stairs, and they both had that. And I was like, when is there a falling down the stairs scene? So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, yo, ChatGPT, when is there a falling down the staircase scene in Clueless? And Chat, for some reason, was like, yeah, so Tay purposefully falls down the stairs to get the attention of what, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that is not at all what happened.
She definitely does not purposely fall down the steps.
That is a very obviously accidental fall down where she almost takes herself out.
Yes.
Completely. It was so bad.
Such a good connecting thread, though.
Thank you.
So they're at the party, and Cher's dancing with Christian. And Christian is giving vibes. He's dancing with Cher, but then he's like kind of dancing with another guy. He's talking to the bartender, male bartender, a lot. And Cher doesn't really notice, obviously.
Yeah.
But then at one point, Tay's kind of standing alone and is not really dancing because Elton's also there, and Elton's dancing with someone else. And so Josh ends up, I didn't even bring up how they, okay, I skipped that.
What?
When Christian goes to pick up Cher.
Yeah.
So he goes to pick up Cher, and Josh opens the door. Christian just walks in. He doesn't even say like hi.
Dude has
the balls on this guy. Oh my god. So immediately Josh is like, I fucking hate this guy. Yeah. And Mel, the dad, is like, I don't like this guy either. Cher is wearing this tiny, tiny white dress, and the dad is like, what are you wearing? That is not an outfit. Right. But
and she's like, I'm gonna put something over it, and she gets like this sheer little jacket.
So good. So that happened. So then Josh was like, I'm going to follow. I'll go to the party too. Keep an eye on Cher. So that's why Josh is also at the party. And Josh ends up seeing Tay standing by herself. And Josh offers to dance with her. And they're dancing together. Cher sees this and is like really happy that Josh did that for Tay. So it's a really nice thing for him to do. Cher is a virgin.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm going to move things forward with Christian. He's going to be my first. And so while her father's away one evening, she invites him over and she's wearing this really cute, like, skimpy red dress. And they're in her room watching a Tony Curtis movie. And Christian's just fully watching this. He's like, this is great. This is like, watch this scene right here. And Cher's trying to put the moves and it's like rubbing his feet or rubbing his leg. And she's like, oh, my feet are cold. And he gets up and puts a pillow on her feet. She's like, thanks. And they leave. So nothing happens. And if at this point you didn't think that Christian was gay, like this was obviously. Right. But Cher still doesn't think so. She just thinks he's, you know, shy.
Yes.
Wasn't picking up the hints. And it wasn't until they're driving with Dee and Murray, Dee's boyfriend, where he's like, Christian is gay.
Yeah.
Obviously gay. And so then Cher realizes this and still decides to be friends with Christian.
Right.
And
she realizes he's not going to be her lover, but he can be her bestie. So.
Yeah. So they're still friends, and that's totally cool. So then a little later, Cher and Christian are at the mall together, and Tay is like, there's like these two guys holding Tay over a railing, like as like a prank.
Right. It was the weirdest freaking prank.
Yeah, and it's like a 2-floor mall, so it's like those railings. And she's screaming, and Christian goes over and pulls her, helps her. And he's like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? All this stuff. And Tay's fine. But this causes Tay to get more popular at school. So she is now the cool girl, and she has all this attention. And Cher notices that she's being more snobby now and shallow. At one point, Travis goes over to talk to Tay, and she just tells him, like, is it the lawn over there? And it's really cold to him.
Yeah.
And Cher is just like, oh no, this is horrible. One, because she's not the most popular girl now. And two, because she created a monster.
Right. It is really funny though, because Tay is like holding court over how like, I saw my life flash before my eyes when I was being like pranked in this way. And Cher's like, yeah, like when I was held at gunpoint, and everyone's like, whatever.
Cher heads home and sees Tay there playing hacky sack with Josh, just like hanging out. And Tay has a private conversation with Cher and is like, I'm done with Elton because I found a new person. And this is the moment where I was like, oh my God, it's the same story as Emma. And I had to pause and look it up. And it was like, yes, it's a loose adaptation. So I was like, oh my God, what is this story? Yeah, so that was the moment where I realized it. I know. And it was like all the scenes came crashing in. I was like, oh my God, all the connections.
Now, I'm like, oh, right. Oh, right.
Yep.
Oh, right.
I kind of wish I knew before watching, but.
Me too, even though I already knew that fact and I've seen it multiple times. So.
So after Tay tells Cher that she's interested in Josh, Cher is suddenly like, oh, I don't think you guys are a good match. Right. And Tay is upset about this and leaves. And Cher ends up going on a solo shopping trip to clear her head and thinks about it. And she realizes she really likes Josh and is in love with him. And one of the quotes that cracked me up was her saying that he's kind of a Baldwin. And I was like, after Beetlejuice? Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, girl.
That's great.
Without Beetlejuice as proof.
Right.
You're like, what are you talking about? So Cher has this revelation. And so she talks to her father about this guy that she likes. And she doesn't think he likes her. And the dad's like, what? He's an idiot. He's an idiot if he doesn't like you and I don't want you to date an idiot.
Right. Yes. So great.
And Cher's like, well, actually, he's like really smart. And he is, you know, like a do-gooder and all this stuff. And she thinks that she's like too shallow or selfish.
Yeah.
And her father reassures her that she is a very caring person and, you know, goes out of her way for her friends and family and, you know, is a good person. So then Cher is feeling better and decides to be more compassionate.
Yeah.
So then, not long after their fight, Tay approaches Cher and apologizes, and they become friends really easily again.
Mhm.
And then they're actually watching Travis participate at a skateboarding competition, and Cher realizes that he is worthy of Tay's affections. He's a good guy.
He also has at this point given up his stoner ways, because in the past,
Yeah.
like this was a little bit of, I guess, a moral thing that was in the movie where she was like, it's fine to get like have a little bit of weed at a party, but we
Right.
don't get high all the time. Like you
Yes.
don't want to be that person who's completely checked out or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then we do learn that Travis is he's part of AA now. He's like giving up all of his vices.
Yeah.
He donates his bong
That's right.
to charity.
So he's changing,
Mhm.
you know, and he's a good guy. So
Yeah.
Cher approves of this relationship. And then, so now Cher is trying to impress Josh, and she's volunteering with Miss Geist.
Mhm.
And she ends up spending time with Josh and her father's like colleagues to help with
Mhm.
paperwork and stuff. But she ends up
She makes a mistake on a
misorganizing
date. Yeah.
some of the documents, and it causes the one lawyer to freak out
Yeah.
and really insult Cher. And Josh is like, oh, what the fuck? Fuck
Right.
you. But then the lawyer's like, oh, if you guys weren't just oogling each other all the
Right,
time, this wouldn't have
right.
happened. So he
Right.
leaves. Cher's upset, but Josh defends her and comforts her, and it leads him to reveal their feelings for each other. And they kiss on the steps. Really cute. Really
Yeah,
cute.
I liked the kiss
scene.
because she like
I did
pushes
too.
him and he like grabs her and pulls her in, and I was like,
I heard that they're step siblings. Anyway,
yeah. me too.
so then the movie ends with a wedding,
Mhm.
and it's for Mr. Hall and Miss Geist, and some of the students are in attendance, including Cher, who brought Josh as a date, Dion, Murray, Tay, and Travis. And then they have the bouquet throw, and Cher catches it. It was very violent
Yes.
catching.
Which it reminds me of all the times I've been to weddings and had to catch like been in the crowd. Have you ever
Yeah.
had to be part of the crowd that catches
Yeah.
okay? So my mother would never let me get away with not doing it. I was like, no, I don't want to catch the freaking bouquet. This is so embarrassing. I would be like, no. And she's like, you have to go. You're not married. Like, you have to go up there. So I would go and I would stand in the back, and all the
Yes,
girls
stand in
ran
the back.
forward, and I would just stay there. Like, if it hit me in the face, I wouldn't have touched it with my hands. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I was always in the back, but I was like, maybe I'll just fall on my hands. Maybe I'll just like catch it, but I wouldn't try for it, you know?
Right. It's just like if it happens.
It just if it happens.
Like if it's fate.
I'm not dating anyone, but if it's fate.
Yeah.
So that's how the movie ends, with
Mhm.
Cher catching bouquet and another little kissing scene with her and Josh. And that is the movie.
Yep.
My deleted scene
Yeah.
was Tay dismissing Travis. I couldn't really think of a good
Yeah.
deleted scene, but I didn't like that.
No, she was
mean.
really mean to him. I didn't
Yeah.
like that.
Boo.
Yeah.
So that was my deleted.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Main character.
As an underage.
Yeah. Like Josh is like technically
Josh
maybe
is
18,
technically-
but I'm like
yeah.
26-year-old Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, is that how old you? Yeah, because he was
He was,
graduating from college at this point, from a fun fact I read. So it's like, yeah, the actor, smash. The character,
Yeah.
too young,
A little
too
young.
young, too young.
Side characters, same deal. Most of them are teenagers. I'm not playing these
Yeah.
games. I'm not
Mhm.
smashing Mr. Hall. Um,
What about the dad?
Hmm. Maybe.
Maybe.
He's a lawyer.
I mean, he makes a
Um,
lot of money, and he's
he
very
does.
supportive.
He's very supportive. But he's very busy, and I'm a very needy
Maybe.
person. So
Yeah, that's fair.
fall in love. I said 4
Okay.
because of the step sibling situation.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever feel something
Yes.
like that with, even if it was a short time period. It just feels icky.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I was
Right.
like, I'll keep it low.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
And I did say yes. I would recommend the movie. I think it's fun and quirky, and I think people
Yeah.
will get a kick out of it if they like these type of movies.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't love the movie.
Yeah.
I
didn't think
felt
you
like
would.
there was something about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. It felt like low budget, which
Yeah.
with you saying it was low budget, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like comparing it to like 10 Things I Hate About You,
Right.
like Mean Girls, things like that. And I'm like, it just doesn't have that kick.
No.
And it has all the ingredients there, but there was just something
Yeah.
missing there. And I think
also
it just
think the writing, while parts of it were good, didn't really hit the way that so many of these other like teen movies hit. So it had those catchphrases like as if and shit like that, where you're like, oh, that's quotable, that's memorable. But
yes,
the rest of the movie, I feel like maybe it just feels too much like 95, and like the references didn't hit as well, but it just wasn't the witticisms and those fun through lines that you get with things like the other movies.
Right. Yeah. I don't
much.
and I think her narrating wasn't bad, but I think too was like too much. And I think maybe some of that just didn't hit as well.
Yeah. It definitely felt a little bit on the slower side too.
Yeah.
I think
oh my god.
Ruby agrees. She was like, yeah, I couldn't stand it.
But yeah, I really was I thought I would really, really love this movie, and I just was like, I don't know if I like this movie that much. And I think too the romance, like I was like, knowing if it was an Emma adaptation, I don't know, I might have liked it a little bit more because I maybe would have picked up things. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do like that it was like a modern interpretation. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
I would love to see more modern takes on
Yes.
Jane Austen works.
I
So
am obsessed with retellings. It's one of my favorite like categories of movies and things. I've always really adored like retelling of fairy tales or old stories or
Shakespeare and
all of that stuff. I live for it. Inject it into my veins, please and thank you. But you know, Clueless, it's good, but it's not something that I'm like I'm gonna keep going back to again and again and again as I watch it. So for me personally, I kind of waffled like what would I give it?
Right.
I think more of like a 3.5 for me. It's enjoyable, was, you know, it's fun, but it just didn't have enough for me to be like, this is in the favorites.
Yeah, I agree. I end up giving it a 3.
Okay.
So
there were a couple points where I was like, Demi might give this in the 2s because
I thought about it. But I was like, no, it really wasn't that bad. I just like, I don't know. And there were things I liked about it. You know, there were scenes that were funny, and I really liked the characters, and so yeah,
they are. You know, it's very 95, and they say things like the R word.
They do.
And,
yes.
You know, they're making these jokes that you're like, that does not work anymore. You can't say that anymore. So there is some of that. So you've been forewarned if you've never seen it.
Yes.
And you want to see it now.
It's not that bad though. But yeah. After our amazing raving reviews about it.
Right. Like I do think it's worth watching. I think it's a worthwhile
movie.
I do too. I think everyone should watch it once for sure. For me personally, like in the realm of rewatchability, I will probably rewatch it in my life. It's not under a 3. It's just not something that like, it's not high up on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So.
Yeah. Do you want your fun facts?
I do.
Okay. So first of all, I want to give you the quote because I didn't get to quote this earlier, but the quote from Heckerling about the fact that Fox didn't want the stepbrother. So she said, quote, "That was so silly. Fox was going, how can you have sex with your stepbrother?" And it's like, they're not related. Their parents were briefly married, and Cher's father is still nice to Josh. That's not verboten, you know?
The thing is, too, it's like, if Josh is like still close with Mel, like that was a father figure for him. And it like still like is. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to do it.
No.
Like, come on, Amy.
Yeah.
She had some fantasy.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. I feel like it was trying to be different, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't excuse it. So the slang words are because Heckerling has like a lot of interest in the way people use his language. And so she was kind of going around and listening to the way people talk. And she did like all these different phrases. And so she credits the phrase as if to the LGBTQ community of the early 90s. And she said that she also was asking actors who auditioned what their idea of various slangs were, which is where they got like going postal and calling someone a Monet and stuff.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Apparently there was a Clueless video game that was developed for the Nintendo DS but never released.
Dude, what?
I know.
What would the game be?
I don't know. Dressing her up or something. It had to have included dress up. It had to.
Yeah.
Maybe driving on the road because she's a horrible driver. She doesn't get her license the first go around because
I guess they could have made it work. I did have a Mary Kate Ashley.
I did too. Dude,
oh my god,
yes!
The buggy game?
Yes!
I love that game. It was so good.
Seriously.
It was so good.
Yes.
Oh my god. That was my Mario Party.
Yeah, not mine too, dude. That was my Mario Party. You're driving with the little... Yes!
Oh my god, we need to make time to play it. We have to find
it.
it.
I'm gonna be like, Travis, this is your mission. You're gonna
Yes.
find the Mary Kate Ashley game so that Demi and I can play it, please.
It's important.
This is my version of all your Mario and Sonic. It's Mary Kate and Ashley.
This was the Mary Kate Ashley game. Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
They had,
I would make my brother play that all the time with me.
Me too. Me and my little brother. Me and you both have little brothers who are like 2 years younger. We like torturing these boys. Like, okay.
Yeah, you're forced to play this game with me.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh man.
So, that doesn't matter. We covered that. Doesn't matter. I don't care. It's not interesting enough. Okay. So Paul Rudd, during the process of filming, he was actually held up at gunpoint while he was out at dinner. And the thief took his backpack, which contained the Clueless script and his Walkman.
Oh, no.
I know. So somewhere out there is a really old copy of Clueless, unless that person threw it in the garbage.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a stolen version of Clueless.
Where did they film this? In LA, I guess?
So,
somewhere in LA?
yeah. Okay. But I guess it was very, very rainy at the time, and it was always raining, but they managed to make it look super sunny and beautiful.
Okay.
I'm almost positive it was LA, but I didn't get that. Apparently, the set was harmonious. There were no difficult personalities. Everyone had seemed to have a positive experience with it, which is really nice. And looking back on Brittany Murphy's talent, everyone felt like she was really, really talented. She did a great job, and they wish they could have seen what she ended up doing.
She was in so much stuff. I didn't realize. Yeah. So Brett and I are watching King of the Hill for funsies, and she voices one of the characters, Luann, and she also is the one voice in Happy Feet.
No.
Yeah,
really?
She's a great singer. So she was really talented and beautiful.
She really was. I thought she did a great job in acting.
Her
playing her character. And it's such a funny role too. It's this girl, Ty is devastated over this boy who she had one interaction with. And she's crying over the song Rollin' with the Homies. It's so good.
It's so good. No, I really loved her character.
Yeah.
So it's a shame.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. So that's all the fun facts I have for you with Clueless.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So for your next movie, we actually both know the thread because Megan brought up a movie that she's never seen. Yep. And I was like, I'll pick a movie I've never seen.
Yeah.
So
we're
both
fast and loose.
We are going crazy here. We're going to see how this goes. This will probably be a once and done type of thing.
I know.
I was telling Megan that a lot of the horror movies I haven't seen usually are bad movies, and I just don't feel like watching them.
It's mind-boggling to me because I have a huge list of movies that are on my wish list of things to watch. I'm just like, I don't have enough time, whatever. And how in the world do you have like no movies that you're like, gotta watch that one?
Girl, when I'm like working on stuff, I would probably watch at least 2 movies. Like I'll watch like
What?
2 movies back to back at night because I just don't watch shows. I'll just put movies
Oh my
on.
God. See, that's yeah. And we've gone over this before, but I am such a show person that
Yeah.
it's I put on one of my sitcoms and I run through
Yeah.
that instead.
Yeah, which is
Right.
better. And I struggle, girl. I'm like, oh, I'm so behind on shows. And I'm like, I should watch. And then I'm like,
I
just let me see what horror movies are out real
Dude,
quick.
shows are so easy though.
I
It's like
know.
20 minutes, fast done, and you feel like
Yeah.
you've accomplished something. You're like, oh my God.
It is. You're right. And I don't know. So anyway, that's why I've watched too many movies.
Yeah.
So, but this is one movie that I haven't watched and
Okay.
I've been wanting to watch. I just like never got to it. And when it first came out, I was like, this sounds stupid. I'm not interested.
I love
But I heard good
stupid.
things about it. And so we'll see if people are right.
Okay.
It's called It Follows. Do you know anything about it?
No.
Okay. So this is all I know about it. About a teenager who sleeps with their new boyfriend and learns afterwards that she's now a recipient of a curse that is passed victim to victim through intercourse.
STC?
Yes.
Sexually transmitted curse?
Yes. And
Stop.
the curse basically from the trailer, it looks like people are following you. So
no.
and they're getting closer to you. So it's like kind of a stalking thing. Yeah. And so yeah, we'll see a cautionary tale
Yeah.
for you youngins.
You know what? Yeah. You gotta
Stay protected.
converse with your partner and let them know if you're cursed. You know what I mean? Like, don't
Absolutely.
hide that information. That's
Mhm.
really important.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
Wow.
But yeah, when I heard the description, I was like, "What? I don't want to see that.
No,
That
it sounds
dumb,
Yeah, I mean, it does.
whack."
It really does sound ridiculous, but
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
people have said good things about it. So
I guess
we'll see.
Where
We'll
can
see.
you watch it?
You can watch it. Good question. I didn't look that up.
No, I never do. We really should do what
We have a script. I have a script here.
right. Why don't we follow it?
You can watch it on Max and Hulu and maybe Amazon.
Okay.
So
Okay, is it Hulu with a Max subscription or is it Hulu period?
I don't know.
God, I'm so tired of
They're
these
so stupid.
these subscriptions that need more subscriptions. Like I can't. I'm not made of money.
It's like a subscriptionception
Yes,
bullshit.
it is. Everything's like, thanks for subscribing to the first tier. You can unlock 3
Dude.
videos.
It's like crazy, and it's like all these ads, and you're paying. You're paying for
Yes.
the ads.
It's-
Like, bro.
It makes me hate everything. I really get to the point where I'm like, I just want to cancel everything and just never consume media anymore. But
Yeah. Honestly, and it's all like most of it's fucking trash. Honestly, I like Max. I
Right.
think Max has quality,
right.
but
No, but that's the thing where I'm like, this is part of the reason why I refuse to get Netflix because I'm watching Love is Blind on there. That's not quality TV. It is not worth the money I would be spending to watch the drama.
yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
I will find alternative ways of
Yeah.
of enjoying my drama.
hey, you can. There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that is
That's
that.
That's our show. That's our show. Thanks, guys. Just another time where we're how many episodes do we bitch about Netflix? What's the opposite of
enough
being
where they can
sponsored?
sponsor us. Yeah.
We're gonna get a cease and desist letter at this point.
Yeah, it's always we're shitting on Netflix or we're shitting on like Fubu.
Yeah.
Freebie, Phoebe, Fubu.
Yeah. Fubo. Yes, stupid
Fucking-
Fubo. Fucking hates.
Yes.
Yeah, I hate.
You know, it's free. I can't. At least they're free. You know,
Yeah.
you get ads, but
Right.
It's
You
free.
get to.
you know you're gonna suffer
Yeah,
through
you're
it.
gonna feel feelings, but it's fine. You'll watch a couple Arby's ads.
I was gonna say, what was the
It was some sort of meatball sandwich.
meat?
I can't. Like the vision of me sobbing hysterically while Travis comes downstairs and there's a meatball sandwich on the screen is genuinely top tier.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening to How Do You Watch This. You can find us on Instagram at How Do You Watch This and TikTok at How Do You Watch, or email us at howdoyouwatchthis@gmail.com. If you like the show, support us by giving us a review or recommend to a friend. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye, everyone.